Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ITTF Seamaster 2017 World Tour Hungarian Open, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow, and coming up now for the men's singles quarterfinals, we've got FANG in the orange versus Yanan in the blue. Now this will be interesting. These players have definitely shown their peaks at different times in their careers. Yanan was world ranked number 7 for 5 months starting in December of 2013, but his last world ranking was 16 in May of 2016. Talk to you about that a little bit more in a moment. Our umpire for the match, Freddy van Oostenbrugge from Netherlands, and our assistant umpire from Poland, Marian Zak. So right now we've got FANG, who's the 3rd seed in the tournament. He's world ranked number 12. He's 25 years old. His highest world ranking was 8 in May of 2015, right after the World Championships, where he played the final against Ma Long in an unforgettable match, creating the point that was coined point of the century. The level of play, the amount of pace on the ball in their counter loops, the fact that they could run down and put so much power back time after time, especially considering the context, was considered by many to be one of the most impressive points we've seen in a long, long time. Funny enough, right after the point of the century was produced, Xu Xin played in the Chinese Super League, what many would call the best point they've seen in table tennis. I think it had 10 shots that went around the net post in one single point. So Yanan is the 195th seed, having dropped out of the world rankings. Haven't seen Yanan playing quite as much internationally. While Yanan has pulled off many impressive performances, he's also suffered some difficult losses to non-Chinese players. When you're in the Chinese national team, having a loss to anyone who's not part of the Chinese national team is considered punishable. Whether it's Jens Lundqvist, or whether it's Stefan Fagel, or Chen Qianan, there are a few players who have gotten in and beaten some of the top Chinese players. Had a chance there to see a few of the credits on the screen for FANG. Now FANG is always explosive from off the table. He can chase down anything. He's so strong in the legs. The 24-year-old Yanan still has a few years ahead of him. Again, as far as the Chinese lifespan goes, when you play for the Chinese national team, we just saw Wen Jia winning a match at 27 years old, only 1 year younger than the recently retired Li Xiaoxia. Not many players play into their late 20s for the Chinese national team. Many players will actually realize around the age of 22 that their career is going to be more exciting somewhere else. Luna in the crowd with the blue hair. Chinese fans, again, very strong supporters, come out here to see up close and personal the celebrities from their country. FANG quite popular in China right now. So head-to-head, these two have played twice before, and they've each taken one match. We'll see who takes the lead head-to-head in this best of 7. Leaning back and powering up with some spin and speed, FANG takes the first point.
One.
So just to let you know, the last time these two played in Japan in 2015, Yanan won 4 games to 1. The last time before that, when FANG won, was in 2009 at the World Junior Table Tennis Championships. It's a 4-0 win for FANG. Outstanding points. The 3rd point of the game, and already we're seeing this quality of play. I think it's only going to get better and better. FANG started that point off balance, too, with an all-arm forehand shot. How much power FANG gets. That ball's right into his body. Comes across the body using the forehand. Now, I talked a little bit about equipment, how the Chinese players use slightly different equipment than some of the European players, most of the Europeans for that matter. I've played with Fang Bo's racket, and it's quite heavy and slow in some of the over-the-table shots. So in the touch game, you can see how comfortable they are taking the ball early off the bounce.
Yep.
But it is a bit heavier and takes a whole lot of strength to really get the benefit in the counter loop rally.
4-2.
Well-placed flip, Yanan over the table, quite strong.
Net.
Little change of heart costs Fang Bo the point, makes a quality forehand, but Yanan right there to counter. Because of this late decision, Fang Bo just didn't have the footing to really get back out wide to the forehand. Not afraid to run around the court, and again, ooh, someone wants to marry Fang Bo. That's a proposal right there from Luna. She's got a diamond ring. That's a real diamond drawn on a piece of cardboard, by the way, not cubic zirconium. I talked a little bit about the European stroke, how the elbow is in. Fang Bo demonstrating so clearly the full arm stroke from the Chinese players there. Just takes so much strength out of the shoulder and everything else. You have to use your legs and your back to support it as well. Well placed right into the middle. Will break off the top of the net for Yanan. Incredible speed on the wide forehands. As hard as Yanan hits the ball, Fang Bo brings it back with power, even when he's just reaching. Sometimes I don't even understand how their shoulder doesn't just separate when they're reaching that wide. That ball is so difficult, more shallow on the table. Yanan spinning it up from down below. Now, typically, you want to keep the ball deep on the table. Watch where this ball bounces. Yanan almost makes it bounce a second time on the table, which leaves not a lot of opening for Fang Bo to get a good full swing at it.
7-6.
The speed out here from both players is just impeccable. Opening backhand from Fang Bo, but Yanan brings it right back.
Six, 8. Six, 9.
This modern backhand received the banana flip, or at least short play from over the table where you generate more spin with the wrist. Goes awry for Fang Bo here. It's a 3-point lead for Yanan. That was a third ball attempt for Fang Bo too.
10-6.
And another plan going awry here. Deep long serve to the backhand corner, sails out. It's 4 game points for Yanan. Once again, the Chiquita goes long, 11-6. Yanan takes game 1. We'll see what happens. Game 2, the responsibility is up to Fang Bo to even it up. Game 2 right after this.
Second game, Hamburg serves. Lobo.
Back for game number 2. Fangbo is starting off with the serve, down 0-1 against Yanan in blue. Beautiful punch with the backhand over the table.
Two love.
But to think that someone can counter that ball. Fangbo just loads it with spin, keeps it low to the net, does everything right on this shot. Is deep on the table too. Yanan already moving, closes the racket, counters it back. To have the confidence to counter that ball, period, to even go for that shot. It's just quite difficult to even imagine.
One, three.
I've seen Yanan play well before, but this right now, I'm really just gaining a whole new level of respect for Yanan's game.
Net. One.
Keeping the racket head up, sometimes that's all it takes when a ball comes in that fast. I mean, Yanan just has to watch his racket. Look at how high he keeps it. That's just a lateral move to the side to get in front of the ball. So much pace coming in. Simple block is enough to keep pressure on Fangbo.
Net. Four, two.
Strong serve earns a popped up ball for the third ball attack. Everything working together there. The lunge forward, getting the legs into the shot.
Five, two.
So Fangbo has had some trouble landing the Chiquita, the banana flip, but this time he gets it into play. Yanan's so quick to attack right at the elbow and near the body.
Two, six. Three, six.
We haven't seen too many short serves to the forehand side. Fangbo mixing it up a bit. Short serves in general are just tough to earn third ball attacks because at this level, if a player can get there, which they can keep it short quite easily.
7-3.
Powerhouses forehand to forehand. Yanan, not quite sure if that was an apology. I think it must have been the way he sort of threw his hand up there. Will not come down.
3-9.
How closed that racket is. Again, this is the advantage of the banana flip. You can get over the table and still generate a lot of spin with heavy wrist bending. Yanan with the touch completely diffuses any opportunity to attack, and now 7 game points for Yanan.
Net.
And Gonna break
11,
off the top of the net.
second
Yan
game,
on a
and
little
out,
bit of
2-0,
fortune to add insult
2-0.
to injury. 11 points to 3 for a 2-0 lead, and we'll be back for game 3 right after this.
Third game, Ganon serves, a level.
Back for game number 3, Yanan leading 2-0 in dominant style right now. Cross the body right into the middle. The placement so specific from Yanan. I like to think of it as a player. What percentage of points or what percentage of the court is covered by my opponent's forehand? For Fang Bo, he's played the middle of his body all the way out wide to the forehand side. It feels like 70%. It almost feels like he's a pen holder the way his footwork works, and how dominant his forehand play has been.
1, 2.
Oh, again, this is the pen holder's dilemma. Anyone who has so much of a forehand that they run around, they often leave open because they're willing to try to step around and take a forehand from the backhand corner. Then all it takes is a close to the table block or a punch down the line the other way to win the point. Quadri Aruna has seen that throughout his career.
4-1.
That being said, one of my favorite points of the tournament so far, outside of the Vladimir Samsonov against Kontan Robino's around the net shot, followed by a left-handed, the racket switch. I would say it was Quadri Aruna, game point in game 3. I'm trying to remember who it was against. But after all these forehand shots, he just ripped a backhand from off the table. It came out of nowhere. Element of surprise.
5-1.
At that point, we had 2 backhands from Fang Bo, even though one of them clipped the top of the net. Now, neither player has a coach in the corner. We tend to see timeouts called a little bit later when it's just players without coaches. Maybe it seemed like the ball was wiggling, trying to read the body language there.
Net. 2-5.
Some of the Chinese fans here cheering for Fang Bo. They want to see this match continue. And I think Fang Bo made a video that went viral in China showing some behind-the-scenes action. Chinese national team, and quickly became quite popular. Second bounce on the table.
2.
If not, that ball was quickly contacted right into the table. Slow-mo, let's see if we can see it. I think it came off. That's when you need to see zoomed in again and again in slow motion. Maybe you don't, but I do.
Three, 7. 4,
That's one way to do
7.
it. Just thinking for a minute, puzzled, thinking about what Fang Bo can do to really earn his points right now. The short game of Yanan has been so strong and consistent in the touch game and the counterattacks. On the shorter side of the forehand and the step around attack for Fang Bo gets him his 4th point.
Eight, 4.
Body language leaves no question right now as to how Fang Bo feels. Even when he runs around that much, gets a full swing at the ball comes off the table. He's not handling the spin right now. It's not that he can't make the shot, it's that the quality has to be so high because he's playing
9,
Yanan.
4.
I mean, Yanan's consistently punished Fang Bo. Sometimes we see yellow cards for something like that, throwing the ball just sort of carelessly past his opponent. Oh, you
4,
see?
10.
What an amazing shot. And Yanan just blocks it back into play. Already moving, keeps the racket up, sticks it out, and Fang Bo is still recovering from that full stroke before. 6 game points for Yanan.
5,
Forehand flip kill
10.
saves 1 though. Fans with the opportunity to be right around the court here for a close view. Serve goes long. Yanan's so quick to get back off the table and make an outstanding opening attack off a long serve. 11-5. Dominant performance once again, and it's 3-0 for Yanan. Fang Bo with a big uphill battle. Game 4 right after this.
Fourth game, Fang Bo serves. Level.
And there's the proposer again in the audience, trying to use love to get Fang Bo through a 0-3
Net.
deficit right now against Yanan.
Love. 1. Left.
Look at this angle that Yanan's creating. He's staying right at the back of the table. This is one of the many advantages of being close to the table. Both feet in the air for that shot. Yanan just leaping to get that whole wraparound shot into play.
3. Love.
The way Yanan is playing right now, it's sort of tough to imagine someone beating him here at this tournament, but style matchups. We've seen it before. Samsonov took the first game against Sean Quinn.
Love. 4.
If the score continues this way, maybe we'll get an exhibition point. I don't know if I've ever seen Fang Bo do an exhibition point.
Love. 5.
Yanan just looking like lightning on his feet right now.
6. Love.
That point happened so quickly, we didn't even have a chance to see it. Sounded like a 2-shot rally. It's a 2-shot checkmate right there. Obviously a lot more common in table tennis to have a 2-shot rally than, say, 2-move checkmate. And the first point for Fang Bo is pretty electric from deep in the backhand corner. They've had a few points better than this so far in the match for sure. Look at the power Fang Bo puts on that. Still, Yanan's right there, just misses. Not to say that it was an unforced error, but we know he's capable of making that shot. He's demonstrated it before in this game. Wow, where did that come from? Backing off the table, he's out of position, and he's forced into a backhand, and he sees Fang Bo starting to turn the corner and plays the line from way behind. Look at this one more time. Just whip-like power again. Superhuman Yanan.
1-8.
Another demonstration of how he can make that shot against Fang Bo's forehand.
Nine, 1.
If Yanan gets one more point, I want to see somebody circling the table here.
Ten, 1.
Definitely a disappointing time right now for Fang Bo. Not an exhibition point. Nope. 11-1. Yanan over Fang Bo. 4 straight games. Let me do the math real quickly here. We've got less than 4 points per game on average for Fang Bo in this match. Yanan, absolute domination out here. You'll be very excited, I'm sure, to see Yanan continue in this tournament. We've got some strong opponents for him, but we'll see if he's playing like this. See if anyone can really stand a fighting chance. Wouldn't be surprised. There are the scores on screen for you. Enjoy some highlights and stick around. We've got another women's singles quarterfinal coming up. The day has only just begun, maybe about a little less than halfway through. Tons of exciting matches. You're watching the Seamaster 2017 Hungarian Open.
Finally, women's singles category. In few minutes, we start the game.